The Chargers are playing the Bears on Sunday Night Football, and oh my gosh, if they don't win, I'll be depressed. I mean, just straight up. But the good news is, I firmly believe that they will win, and if they do, then they could get on a big winning streak post Brandon Staley reset. So make sure to like and subscribe if you do enjoy this content, man. It helps me out so much. But listen, here's what I'm talking about. They are 2-5. The Bears are, and they only beat the Commanders and the Raiders. And in that Commanders game, they allowed Sam Howell to throw for 388 yards. And they also had Justin Fields throw for 4 touchdowns. Then in the Raiders game, the Raiders were starting Brian Hoyer, and then they played Aiden O'Connell, and they threw 3 interceptions with less than 200 yards passing. But they didn't have Justin Fields either, and they played rookie quarterback Tyson Bagent, who performed pretty well, going 21 for 29, 162 yards, 1 touchdown, no interceptions. The ground game also dominated as Foreman had 89 yards with 5.6 yards per carry, and the team as a whole ran for 173 yards without their lead running back Roschon Johnson. So the Bears dominated the Raiders 30-12 without their starting quarterback and without their starting running back, and put up 23 points of offense when you take into account the Jaylon Johnson pick 6 off of Brian Hoyer. The Chargers' run defense has actually been a pretty strong point this year, thanks to guys like Austin Johnson, Tuli Pelotu, man, Khalil Mack, and then Kenneth Murray, man. He's had a really big resurgence specifically in the running game. He's been really good as a run defender and also as a blitzer. So I'm not worried about this Bears run game, even if Roschon Johnson is back in the lineup. I think he's listed as questionable right now. I'm actually more concerned with the Bears passing game. And I know, listen, I know that sounds crazy, but listen, Tyson Bagent is going to start again for the Bears, and he has only played 1 NFL game in his life. So Brandon Staley has 1 game to go off of in terms of tape to watch. And do you trust him to make a good game plan off of only 1 game? I'm not confident that I do at this point, because listen, my confidence in Brandon Staley is at an all-time low. I was really gung-ho for him last season. I know a lot of people wanted him fired last season. I was still with him. But on top of that, it would just be the most Chargers thing ever to let Tyson Bagent have a great game against our defense out of nowhere and make Bears fans think that he's like the next Patrick Mahomes, because it'll make them feel better for drafting Trubisky over Mahomes. In order to have a good game on defense, the Chargers need to not give up so much space in the back end and play their DBs not 10 yards off in a cover 3 defense. What they should do is play more press and play aggressive in a cover 2 defense or even single high safety to get as much pressure as possible on the line of scrimmage and force Tyson Bagent to make typical rookie quarterback mistakes. Blitz the quarterback with Kenneth Murray, because he has had some great blitzes this season, like I said previously, and you don't want him in coverage anyways, man. Leave that for Eric Kendricks. Don't blitz Eric Kendricks. Blitz Kenneth Murray and let Eric Kendricks be in zone coverage over the middle. And play Michael Davis in press more, man. He looks so much more comfortable doing it, and he is always so sticky on the outside. And also, let's let Derwin James roam the middle of the field and be instinctive, because he needs to have a good game to get back into a rhythm, man. Derwin James and Joey Bosa both have had a really bad start to this season, easily their worst start of their entire careers. Joey Bosa and Derwin James. Those are 2 guys that we pay at the top of their position to be some of the best players at their position, and they've been middle of the pack so far this season. I don't know if that's entirely on Brandon Staley not coaching these guys and having his defensive leaders play as actual elite players, or if it's just a coincidence that Joey Bosa is not playing well this season, maybe because he's also had a lot of injuries stack up, and Derwin James is not playing well this season. Maybe it's the scheme. I don't know what it is, but that's just the facts. They both need to step it up, and this Bears game would be a great opportunity for the both of them to get some rhythm. Now on offense, obviously Justin Herbert needs to bounce back after that bad 2-game stretch that he has had. He's been late on some reads, ignores some of his wide receivers, Quentin Johnson, and has forced the ball to Keenan Allen way too many times. And sometimes he just flat out misses throws that would have been touchdowns. We have seen 3 touchdowns be missed just to Keenan Allen in these past 2 games. Is all of that his fault, or is he a bad quarterback? Absolutely not. He's been under pressure so much recently, and I always say that his pocket presence is top tier, which I still stand by that. It is. But when a QB is pressured on 56% of his dropbacks like last week against the Chiefs, it's going to have a big negative effect on your offense. Protect Justin Herbert at all costs, because he's already playing injured with that broken finger on the left hand. It's already affecting his glove. He needs to have a different glove on his hand with like a different sized specific finger for the one that he broke. And there is a real threat for him to get hit on every single play. And I think, man, it is starting to get into his head, and it's affecting his decision making and timing on throws, which makes him look worse than he really is. And that is literally Phillip Rivers all over again. And we can't have that. We need to have better for Justin Herbert than we did for Phillip Rivers, man. Now, luckily, the Bears have a terrible pass rush. They are the 2nd worst in the NFL, so we shouldn't let up too much pressure in this game. At least I hope so, because again, that would be the most Chargers thing ever, to just let the Bears have a total field day in terms of pass rush. But this should be a good get-back game for this offensive line to build momentum. They also need to build momentum, just like Joey Bosa and Derwin James. Guys like Zion Johnson need to bounce back. Jamaree Salyer hasn't been playing as well as he has earlier in the season. Trey Pipkins needs to play a little bit better. Rashawn Slater, he's been pretty good. Rashawn Slater's been pretty good, okay? And then Will Clapp coming in at center. He's been serviceable, but he can also improve too. We have seen this offensive line be dominant, and we need to get back to that form, and it starts with the Bears. Now, let's talk about Joshua Palmer, man. Ooh, he makes me bolt up. He has emerged as a legit wide receiver too, with Mike Williams gone, but he is now on the injured list and questionable to play. That is the most Chargers thing ever right there. This would be a major loss for the offense, because he's clearly Justin Herbert's 2nd favorite target behind Keenan Allen. And if he doesn't play, that sucks, right? But the good news is that Justin Herbert would be forced to look for Quentin Johnson more. And if the trend continues with what Quentin Johnson has been showing on tape, then Quentin Johnson's going to be open. And he's going to have a pretty good day receiving wise for this offense, especially against this Bears defense, man, because I would expect Jaylon Johnson to be on Keenan Allen for most of the day. So the only guys on the Bears defense that you really got to worry about are like Eddie Jackson, who is also injured, but he is a very good safety, and then Jaquan Brisker. Those are the 2 safeties. I expect the Chargers to win this game and hopefully build some momentum and get on a winning streak, man. That is so crucial after starting 2-4. You need to get on this winning streak starting in this Bears game. We can beat the Jets next week. Then we got the Lions after that. We can absolutely beat the Lions. That's going to be the toughest one. And then the Packers right after that. That's going to put us above. That's going to put us at 6-4 for this season. The Lions game is going to be tough, but I think the Chargers' strengths line up pretty well with the Lions' weaknesses, so that is a totally winnable game. So the path is laid out to go from 2-4 to 6-4, starting with this Bears game. We need to win this one and get back on track. If you want to see my video from yesterday, you can check this film breakdown right here about the Chargers running game.